Hey guys, Brady here with your daily tennis lesson. Talking today about a third component of the modern forehand, which is the follow through. And if you guys watch pro tennis, you know, there's always going to be a little bit of variation between pros on the follow through simply because they're different sizes and shapes, different amounts of racket speed, all that stuff. But there's one thing pretty much all the pros are doing to kind of dispel the old forehand and making it this more modern forehand. And that's kind of getting rid of the idea that the racket and the left hand should connect nice and high above the shoulder. I mean, this is a great way to learn the forehand, but if we're trying to advance our game and get this forehand looking a little more similar to what we see on tour, there's a few things we got to do. The first of which is get out of this mindset that we're just swinging up above the shoulder and catching the racket. Okay, so what we're going to start to work on now begins with where the racket goes right after contact. And what I want to see from you guys is a lot more reach forward towards the other side of the court before you guys start moving the racket around to the left. Okay, because with that older forehand where we're thinking about hitting up above the shoulder, what you guys will feel and what I see a lot is that right after contact, we're thinking about coming up. Okay, so right there, that racket doesn't do a lot of driving through the ball, and this modern forehand is this huge shot that we're seeing all the pros do so much damage with, and if they were pulling their strings up right away, they'd be losing a ton of power and spin. So the first thing that you guys are going to see them do and that I want you to start to do is right after contact, start taking the racket in your right hand more towards the other side of the court. Okay, and we call that extension. Start extending the arm more into the court before coming around to the left side. Secondly, because we're not going above the shoulder anymore, we need a new kind of home for this follow through. And the place I want to start to see you guys put this racket is more just kind of on the outside of your left shoulder. So that's obviously lower than I think what a lot of us learned. Okay, and part of that is this right elbow of mine. Right after I've extended to the target, I'm just going to start to break that elbow. And if that thing just breaks out and around, the follow through is just naturally going to rest somewhere on the outside of this left shoulder. Okay, so don't do too much work with trying to pick the elbow up. Just kind of roll the elbow out and around at the finish. Third, and really importantly, if we want to start to see a little more power on this shot, is part of this follow through, we got to start to see the weight transfer in the upper body make a little more of an exaggerated move than we're used to. Okay, and by that I mean I see with that kind of traditional old forehand where you guys catch the finish, your chest is facing directly forward at the end of that swing. Okay, and I obviously got my weight transferred there. But you guys watch Federer, Nadal, any of these guys that are just cranking forehands, you're seeing their chest move much farther around than that. Okay, so my follow through after I extended the ball, throw that finish out around my shoulder, my chest is actually going to start facing quite a bit farther left from the other side of the court. And that move, that kind of uncoiling move, is going to create a lot of extra power for you guys. All right, so let's take a look at this in action. Mark's going to toss me a couple balls. You know, we've got a couple videos out already kind of establishing the setup for this swing, showing you guys how to drop the racket into position to be able to get to this stage of the forehand. So check those out as well, but this is kind of like the end of this little 3 video session here. So take a look at the modern follow through. Okay, and you guys can see that elbow's here, racket's outside my left shoulder. Because I'm a little bit taller than most players, I have a tendency to drop that, and like I said, there's going to be a little variation based on how big or small you are. But that idea that we're coming out around that left shoulder is really key. And then take a look at this one in slow-mo. Watch how far my chest goes around. So you guys can see, I'm not facing completely sideways the other way, but I'm definitely not just squaring up to the other side of the court. I'm trying to uncoil myself a little farther than we were taught traditionally, okay? So that's the modern forehand follow through. Go out and practice that, you guys. I think you'll really like the results. And that's all I got for you guys today. So I hope you enjoyed. Please click like below this video. And if you happen to be watching on YouTube, please subscribe to our channel. Thanks, and we'll see you guys soon.